So, what would you say is your favorite thing about Philadelphia?
Um, there's a lot. I think my favorite thing currently is the food scene. There's such a renaissance going on in the last 5, even decade, that it's not just about the cheesesteaks, you know? Everyone that comes to the city was like, oh, tell me the great cheesesteak. And I'm like, okay, they're great, but like, there's like the taco bar around the corner, or the pho place, or the steakhouse, or the rooftop bar that makes specialty cocktails, or the happy hours, or city sips. There's just so much to do. It's really hard to stay skinny in the city because there's so much good food.
Yeah, no, definitely. Speaking of skinny, I saw your post this morning.
I know.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah, it has been the hardest thing I have ever had to do in my life. And it was really humbling to see all the responses. It's as well as like it took me, as someone said, being brave, because like it's embarrassing to see like I let myself go to that point, and it has been 4 years of tears and saying no to that cupcake and getting up and going to the gym and leaving the gym crying. So it has been a really difficult experience, and being at the last 10% has been really fun too.
Yeah, that's amazing. You say it's difficult, but I think it's also rewarding at the same time, right?
It can be. The thing is that like we live in this instant gratification world. So you see these posts are like, hey, in 3 months I lost 90 pounds. Dude, it took me 4 years, and like I was crawling, and it was like every couple months I'd lose 5 to 10 pounds, but I maintained, and it was a very slow kind of downward thing. So it is rewarding. It just like you don't see it. Like one day I wake up, I'm like, oh wow, look at that. Okay, so you just have to just keep with it, you know, just keep with it. It's time over task. It really is, or task over time.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that like everybody's body is different, right?
Yeah, and things don't work all the time. Like someone asked me earlier today, like, what are you doing? And I was like, what haven't I done? I have tried the gym, and like I've been in the gym for 3 months now. I haven't lost any weight, but it's about getting stronger and building endurance and actually enjoying the gym for what it is, right? Not looking at hoping to lose 10 pounds in the next 6 months. I'm just trying to enjoy it and enjoy the experience in that moment. And you know, keto worked for a while, and intermittent fasting worked for a while, and I kind of had to integrate them in my life in a way that was functional, because after a while it didn't work. You know, I wanted bread. I missed pizza. You know, I was hungry after I worked out. I could not eat. So just readjustments, and constantly, it's like I like to say it's like a really hard math problem. I'm constantly trying to solve it.
Yeah, I think that's a great metaphor for life too.
Oh my God. No one told me life would be this hard. So
Nobody ever tells you, so.
No, adulting is awful. I wish I was 16 again. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much just starting the adulting thing, and I'm already struggling, so.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it get easier, but you know, it doesn't. But it builds character, so there's that.
Absolutely. So you talk about all the different food scenes in Philadelphia. It sounds like a pretty diverse culture. Can you tell us a little bit about like the different attitudes of the neighborhoods?
So the neighborhoods are one thing I really love about Philadelphia. Every time I travel a lot, so every time I leave and come back, I fall in love with it just a little bit more. South Philly has this deep-rooted Italian history where we get the Italian market and Rocky and the famous Philly accent. We have West Philadelphia, which Will Smith put on the map, but it's not just born and raised, it's the culture, it's the building, it's the architects, it's the oversized carriage houses and the greenscapes that it has. We have Fairmount, who has this close-knit culture where you can walk into a bar and everyone does know your name, and they stick with their neighborhoods and raise them up to celebrate them and come together in times of trials and tribulations. There's Fishtown and Kensington that has this great renaissance that is happening, that is literally just flowing around the city, and it's helping really just keep this renaissance going for the last 5 years, if not longer.
Yeah, it all sounds like so different for every area, but
it is.
I think one thing about Philadelphia that I told you about in the questions is that everyone knows that it's such a hardworking city. Like, where do you think that comes from?
Well, you know, we are the birthplace of America. And I think that's how people recognize us. But, you know, Philadelphia has always been a blue collar, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, manufacturing town. You know, there's tons of lofts now that were manufacturers or cotton mills, or I'm saying all the wrong terms, but they were blue collar workers who made this town what it is, the grit of the city. So, and it's still very much engrossed in our culture.
Yeah, it's evident every time it's portrayed in movies. I've never been to Philadelphia. I don't get to travel that much, but I learned through movies. Sometimes I know it's not the best representation of it because it doesn't show the real people. But from what I've got, everyone seems to really just work hard and kind of alludes to that blue collar that you've been talking about.
Yeah, we're tough and rough, you know, but we love big too. So
yeah, I think it shows in all the sports teams too. Everyone's so gritty.
We are. Oh God, we are. But we're fierce. We're loyal. We are. You know, we're the friend that you call at 2 a.m. to pick you up when you need a ride, and we're the friend that fights for you, and we root for you, and we're there for better or worse. That's Philadelphia.
Yep, and even your the Flyers mascot, his name is literally Gritty. So
yeah. And we love him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he scared me at the start, but
scared everyone at the start, but
yeah. So you talk about all the good things about Philadelphia. We know that it's a hardworking city, and it's got some great stuff as far as the food, the multiculturalism. Is there anything that annoys you about Philadelphia though in your own city?
So the potholes. My street right now has been worked on for the last month and a half. So potholes are definitely, the roads are definitely in need of some love. But that's always been the case. So yeah, I would say the roads. My car has luckily not blown a tire recently, but there's been close calls where I'm like, oh, please God, please don't say. So winters are hard for us with the roads.
Yeah, same for us. So our office, our marketing office is in Edmonton, Alberta, like in Canada. And in Edmonton, then we always say that there's two seasons. There's winter and then there's construction. When the snow stops, they just work on the roads and then they get bad again. So it's traffic year round or potholes year round. So it's not the best. Yeah.
I completely understand, especially with all the new construction and all the buildings that are being renovated. Not only do we have the potholes, but we also have just roads that are completely out of commission for months on end. So I get it.
Absolutely, yeah. You talk about buildings under construction. Is there anything in Philadelphia that's kind of being renovated as far as like for real estate goes?
I mean, I have two houses right now on my block that are being renovated. The Met in Philly it's a new music venue right off of Broad Street that just opened, I think, this year. And that has been renovated and it's beautiful inside. The Fillmore, which is another music place, was an old factory that has been renovated into this grand music, venue as well. That also has like a bar, an indoor brewery attached to it, a comedy bar, like just tons of. Yeah, we do a lot of that. We like to see, Philadelphia luckily likes to keep a lot of the culture. So a lot of the contractors are more into buying an old building that's run down and renovating it into something new and to keep the character and the charm of the city alive.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line with that. Sometimes when you do renovate, you kind of lose, that old piece of that building. But it's a good thing that you guys are, keeping that alive because I think it's important.
It definitely is. It definitely is. It brings warmth and charm into the city that you need to keep, and people appreciate.
Yeah, I think it allows the citizens to also remember, where you came from.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Besides, fixing roads, fixing all these potholes, if you were in charge of Philadelphia or mayor for a day, what would you do?
So I have been in Philadelphia since I was 18, I went to Temple, and I remember it being a little scarier than it is now. And maybe I'm just engrossed in it, but one thing that I've seen that has been constant is cleaning up our city and making it beautiful. So if I was in charge for a day, I would make it just mandatory for us to go out and continue to clean up our streets, continue to beautify our city, because I have seen it progress and I would love to see it just keep progressing more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually talked to a real estate broker from Washington, and she said the exact same thing. So that's really funny.
Awesome.